Welcome. Let's get right into it. When you hear the words intestinal parasites, what immediately pops into your head? Probably wild animals or maybe far-off third-world countries, right? Well, it's time to toss those misconceptions right out the window. Today, we're talking about a health issue that affects a massive chunk of the population, and honestly, it remains completely misunderstood. Intestinal parasites are a surprisingly huge global issue, and trust me, they absolutely do not care about your zip code. Just to put the sheer scale of this into perspective, 3 billion. Yep, you heard that right. The World Health Organization estimates that over 3 billion people worldwide are currently infected. That's almost half the entire planet. It actually ranks as one of the top reasons people go to the doctor globally. But here's the really crazy part. Countless more are walking around right now completely oblivious to the fact that they have microscopic freeloaders. Why? Because they simply aren't showing any obvious symptoms at all. So what exactly are we dealing with here? Basically, an intestinal parasite is a tiny organism that sneaks inside the human body, sets up camp in your intestines, and just feeds off whatever it finds. Think about your intestinal tract for a second. It's dark, it's moist, and it's got a constant, non-stop supply of nutrients. To a parasite, your gut is basically a 5-star all-inclusive resort. They just thrive and multiply in there, flying completely under your radar. Okay, so how do these uninvited guests actually get past the velvet rope? Most of the time, they hitch a ride into your system through contaminated food or drinks. Now, kids are super susceptible to this, mainly because they tend to explore the world mouth first, and let's be real, they're not always the best at washing their hands. But don't let that fool you into thinking this is just a playground problem. We adults are just as vulnerable whenever our hygiene slips or if food isn't prepped quite right. Here's where it gets really tricky. The real danger of these parasites is the diagnostic challenge. Pinpointing that you actually have one is notoriously difficult. Why? Because the symptoms mirror everyday run-of-the-mill ailments. You might feel a bit off and just chalk it up to a stressful week at work, maybe a bad meal, or even just getting older. Since the signs are so incredibly easy to brush off, paying close attention to a few specific warning signs is absolutely vital. Let's break down some of the physical and digestive red flags. Are you dealing with a sudden, unexplainable lack of appetite? Or maybe the exact opposite, an excessive appetite where you're really struggling to control your weight? What about relentless fatigue or trouble sleeping? Since parasites severely disrupt your gut, you might get recurring stomach pain, symptoms that feel exactly like irritable bowel syndrome, or even sudden food intolerances. And because these little invaders are stealing your nutrients, you could even get muscle cramps or this weird numbness in your hands and feet. But the chaos doesn't just stop in your stomach. It actually extends into some pretty surprising neurological and skin issues. We're talking unexplainable anxiety, feeling constantly nervous, or having headaches that just won't quit. You might even notice sudden acne breakouts as your body frantically tries to push out toxins. And then there's the etching. It often shows up right on the end of your nose, around your eyes, or, yep, in the anal region. If you've been battling a bizarre combination of these symptoms and getting no answers, a parasite could definitely be the hidden culprit. So if you're listening to this and checking off a few too many of those boxes, here is your first line of defense. Step 1 is absolutely non-negotiable. You've got to consult your doctor for a proper diagnosis. If they confirm it, step 2 is to modify your diet immediately. Parasites absolutely love junk food, so drastically cutting down on sugar and processed foods is going to help starve them out. And finally, step 3. Take any prescribed medical treatments to aggressively knock out the infection. Now, modern medicine is fantastic, but it's not the only tool in your toolkit. Alongside your doctor's advice, or even just as a solid preventative measure, you can bring in a natural ally. There are all natural solutions out there that provide incredible support for your digestive system. The absolute best part about these remedies, they help battle infections and clear out parasites without causing those weird, unpleasant side effects that sometimes come with heavy pharmaceuticals. Enter the ultimate power duo, cloves and flax seeds. You probably have cloves sitting in your spice cabinet right now, but get this, they actively clean the body, bring down swelling, and literally kill off germs and parasites. Then you've got flax seeds, a true superfood. They act kind of like a sponge, soaking up stored toxins in your colon while pumping you full of dietary fiber. Put them together, and you've got a highly effective digestive superhero team. Let's dive just a little deeper into what cloves can actually do, because their hidden powers are honestly wild. Way beyond just fighting parasites, this tiny little spice is a nutritional powerhouse. They can prevent blood clots and help with circulatory problems. They're packed with vitamins B and K, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and omega-3s. Historically, they've been used to battle fungal and bacterial infections, treat diarrhea, and even fight off severe infections like cholera, tuberculosis, and malaria. Seriously, do not underestimate the clove. Now, for the other half of our dynamic duo, flax seeds completely earn that superfood title because they are incredibly dense in fatty acids, dietary fiber, and antioxidants. Think of them like a gentle broom, just sweeping away all those built-up toxins in your colon. Crucially, they're super gentle on your stomach, and they actually feed the good bacteria in your gut to keep things protected. Oh, and here's a pretty fantastic bonus. Cleansing your body with cloves and flax seeds will also naturally help with weight loss. It's a win-win. So, how do we actually combine these two powerhouses? The recipe is stunningly simple. It all comes down to one specific ratio: 1 tablespoon of cloves to 10 tablespoons of flax seeds. That's literally it. Just 2 completely natural, highly accessible ingredients that you can grab at any local grocery store and mix up right in your own kitchen. All right, here is the exact protocol to make this work. First, take that 1 to 10 mixture and grind it up in a clean coffee grinder until it's a nice fine powder. Second, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of this powder immediately when you wake up. You can mix it into a glass of warm water or just sprinkle it over your breakfast. Step 3 is all about consistency. Take this every single morning for 3 to 7 consecutive days. For step 4, take a break for that exact same number of days, and then just start the cycle over. You can repeat this whole protocol every 3 months or really just whenever you feel like you need a reset. Now, whether you're actively doing the cleanse or just looking at general maintenance, prevention is absolutely your best friend here. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You need it to keep your bodily functions running smoothly and to flush out all those toxins. And hey, never underestimate basic good hygiene. Wash those hands regularly. Finally, here is a really crucial step that a lot of people forget. Make sure your pets are regularly dewormed by a vet. Pets can spread parasites super easily if they're infected. Keep them healthy, and you keep your whole home healthy. Which brings us to our final thought for today. If you've been struggling with endless fatigue, weird digestive issues, random skin breakouts, or just unexplainable anxiety, could unseen, unwanted guests actually be the real cause of your everyday symptoms? Well, armed with what we've talked about today, you're not in the dark anymore. You know what signs to look for, you know the medical steps to take, and you've got that natural clove and flaxseed protocol right in your back pocket. It is time to evict those unwanted guests for good. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, take care of your gut, and I'll see you next time.